Welcome back, fellow gamers. So today I want to talk to you about the San Diego Comic-Con Planeswalkers. Once again, the zombie walkers, if you will. And I want to talk about if it's a good investment, long-term or short-term. If your idea is to buy them off of eBay in hopes of making a buck down the line, I'm here to give you my opinion on whether I think you should or not. Spoiler alert, it is not worth it this year. And I'll detail why. One of the main factors is foiling. So while there were some people that absolutely loved the black on black, there were other people who didn't like it, but it was such a novelty type of card that people who didn't like the black on black would still buy it because it was a rare, unique item. This year they're doing the from the vault foiling, which doesn't look as nice to a lot of people, and they don't like the actual frailty of the cards, whether it's the warping or the easily frayed edges. The double foiling process just doesn't appeal to a lot of people, myself included. Now, I did pick up the set, just as a, I guess, disclaimer or whatever, but I'm telling you not to buy it, so I'm kind of not helping my cause, but there's a disclaimer anyways. I bought it because I can get it for MSRP, and if you can get it for MSRP, I would suggest to jump on it, but the way that they're going to be selling now, you know, $150, $160, $120 even, plus shipping and taxes, really isn't worth your time. Not just for the foiling process alone, there's a few other reasons. Obviously, supply has increased a bit. Now, we don't have hard numbers on exactly how much has been printed this year. We don't have a comparable from the last year or the years before. What we can do is we can infer print runs and at least demand based on how long the cards were up for sale. So the cards this year went up at 11 o'clock, and they sold out, according to reports, at 11:28. So, you know, almost about half an hour. Last year, they were gone in half the time, so in about 14-15 minutes, they were gone. The year before that, I believe it was 15 minutes, if not 10, and the first year that they did it was like 5 minutes. So, obviously, the demand is waning with the more frequent San Diego Comic-Con purchases or product there are, because people are realizing that it's not that special a thing if they're going to do it each year. Similar to how from the vault cards and products were completely hyped at the beginning when they started doing them, and then when they realized it was a yearly release, the interest went down. Now, that's not to say that that's the only factor. Obviously, the appeal of what the cards are, and these being Planeswalkers, there should always be a demand. But it's important to note that with more people getting them, and there being less interest due to the from the vault foiling, therefore, you know, demand will decrease, therefore prices should not rise as steadily. And if you look at last year's set, after you can no longer get on Hasbro's website and you turn to eBay, you're looking at paying about $40 or $50 more than MSRP. Now, with that said, it stayed there pretty much for a few months until Jace exploded because he started seeing play in a lot of different formats. That's what drove the increase in price, was that one card alone. And looking at it, for this year's set, you have to ask yourself, do you think that any of these 5 Planeswalkers will start to see play in a prominent deck for material formats, whether it be Legacy, Vintage, Modern? People are saying Liliana might be that card. Who knows? I personally prefer the Liliana art from the set compared to her from the vault. So that's another thing, is which art do people prefer? She's not a zombie in this card. The other 4 Planeswalkers are. So I think that if she was a zombie and that she exploded in price, you might have seen a huge price explosion. But the fact that she's a normal person, well, as normal as necromancers get, you then look at, do you think she's going to be a top tier performer, or is she going to be like a fringe card that demand won't really increase that much? You look at the other ones. Chandra did see a bit of play in Modern, but that deck didn't really pan out. And Gideon, people are saying as well, I don't see it. Then looking at Nissa and Jace. Jace, who knows? People are saying that once Vryn's Prodigy rotates out of Standard, he might be the replacement. If that happens, there might be a short-term demand, but Standard players don't really like to pimp out their decks. I haven't really seen a pimped out Standard deck, simply because of rotation. Why would you invest in foils or hard-to-get cards when they're just going to rotate out in a year and a half? So that's number 2, you know. Are there any standout cards? And I don't think there are. I mean, I love all the cards. Like I'm a big fan of Planeswalkers, and I like the cards, and I'm going to insert them in Commander decks where I can. But can we really get to the point of having a Jace, Vryn's Prodigy in this set? or in this collection? I don't think so. And there you have it. So you combine product availability, the foiling process, and the actual cards themselves. Do I think that we'll have a situation in which the prices of these cards will explode immediately? No. Do I think that down the line there might be value? Possibly. I wouldn't say for certain. I'm using my cards to play with, and I'm trading away the Liliana. Simply because, as I mentioned, I don't like the art. Or I don't prefer the art. I prefer the original art instead. So not to say, because they are all... I find any artist that works for Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast, if you will. I don't know why I say Magic the Gathering. Any artist that works for Wizards of the Coast is a great artist. Just... Whoops. Whoops. I just slammed my hand. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Any artist that works for Wizards of the Coast is a talented one, and it just comes down to my personal preference. So please remember that when I say I don't like a particular art versus another one. It's simply my personal taste, and it has nothing to do with the skills of the artist. What I do think is that if you're down the line and you're looking at maybe a few years, if there's a person who collects these types of rare cards and maybe he just didn't get one, or they're only coming to the game now and they're kind of building it up, and he wants that card, or there are female collectors, that's where you might be able to unload one for a higher value, but you're gonna have to sit on it for a while, and your money is going to be tied up on that San Diego Comic-Con box that you've paid above MSRP for who knows how long, until the right buyer comes along. So that's my opinion. That's where I would go. I would not invest in it if you are buying it on eBay for above MSRP. If you can get it for $100, I think you should get it, and maybe look at flipping it up right away. I mean, Liliana is like $80, $90 depending on where you look. That right there pays for pretty much your rest of the Planeswalkers. And obviously, this is with investment in mind. If you're playing with the cards, buy them. Like, if you want them to play and to pimp out your deck, buy them, because they're great to have. Like, that's, why I got the other ones. I'm going to put them, when I make a zombie deck, I'm going to slide them in my zombie decks just for theme purposes, and I think that's the only reason I'm going to really insert them. I like the original arts on a lot of them better. Except maybe Chandra. I like Chandra. I like both ways. I don't know. There you have it. Again, would love to hear your opinions on it. Thanks for watching. Now don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you'd like to see more, click on one of the 2 videos that are there, or click on show more in the description below to see when and what we upload, as well as when we stream. And if you need an update on what exactly we're going to be streaming that week, don't be shy to hit us up in the comments or reach out to us on Twitter. We'll be more than happy to chat. Until next time, good gaming.